All right, welcome to the show. This is Antoine of the Antoine Araldi Show, and today I'm with Laurence L-H, a sales genius. So, for those that might not know you, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Laurence. I'm the president and owner of L-H Marketing. I just started my company, but it's really going well so far. So I specialize in sales coaching and also strategic marketing.
How did you get started in sales?
It really started because I always had an interest around the business world. So I really studied management at the university. I did my bachelor in that. And since I'm a very creative person and I'm also very much a people person, it just made sense to me to go towards marketing more than finance, let's say. And then marketing itself is a lot of things, but when I was at university, I think sales stood out more for me at that point. And even life threw at me a nice experience where at the end of my bachelor, I started working in sales. So I started as a Mary Kay beauty consultant for an MLM, and rapidly I had a lot of success. So in 9 months, I became a sales director, and then 3 months after, a senior sales director. So it gave me the confidence, to pursue in that way.
So do you recommend that people join MLMs if they want to get better at sales?
I think it's a very hard way to do sales.
Okay.
So if you're able to succeed in an MLM environment, you'll be able to do a little bit of everything after. Knocking on doors is very hard also. So I think if you do enough and you end up going out of your comfort zone, yes, it's a very, very good learning experience. But after that, a lot of them also are finishing by doing something else also.
What sort of investments should people make if they want to learn more about sales?
If they don't know anything about sales?
Yeah, if they don't know anything about sales, blank slate.
I think a sales coach is very a nice reference to help you, because those kinds of person are able to really help you with your industry. So help you personalize your pitch, your approach, how you're going to get customers. It's very important that people have a good strategy also, because even though you master your content, if you're pitching your information a little bit aléatoirement, let's say, you don't have a precise strategy, at the end it's not going to, you need a really good average between sales and strategy to be able to have success.
So what's the most effective sales strategy that you can give the audience?
I think it depends if you have repeat business or not. If you have repeat business, and what I find that people have as a big weakness usually is they don't have a really good plan to attract loyalty from their customer. And you need to remember that in sales and marketing, it is 5 times cheaper to keep your actual customer than to get new one. So if you have repeat business that you can upsell your client or resell to your client, you absolutely need a plan to attract loyalty. That's for sure. If you don't have repeat business, then your focus must be on your brand awareness. Brand awareness of your company or yourself if you're selling yourself. In real estate, is pretty much the person doing the job. Present on social media, of course, but you need to have customers that were happy, that can give you good témoignage after and tell you hey, I did business with that guy, it was so great, So it gives you a little bit of a notoriété.
All right, so you've been able to do B2C and B2B sales. Can you explain the difference between both?
Yes, so B2C is business to consumer, B2B is business to business. What they have in common is in both situations, you need to be able to create a relation with people. So either your audience as a consumer or your person contact from the company. What they have as a difference is they don't purchase for the same reason and they don't fall for the same arguments. So B2C is really more about emotion. So when you sell, you need to be able to charm your public a little bit, and usually your pitch is going to be more around the features of your product or service. If you do B2B, it's more about logical and rational arguments, and it's going to be a pitch around how you're going to solve a problem for them. So usually it's going to be around you're going to save some money, increase your productivity, that kind of stuff. Also, the process in sales for B2B is much, much longer. What I mean by that is usually sometimes your contact person is not the one purchasing. It's not the decision maker. So sometimes you're not even pitching the right person. And he's telling to the decision maker what you told him. So it's much longer and more complicated also.
So would you be able to get to the decision maker even if it's B2B?
Yes, but sometimes we don't even meet that person. So the person, like in bigger companies, usually the one that is approving, doing the approval on the contracts, maybe he's not even the one you're pitching. Because let's say in my job right now, I sell MSPs and printers. I usually deal with the IT, but he's not the one signing the contract at the end. So it's not, you don't necessarily have to talk to that person, because the IT person in my case is the one that is doing the recommendation anyway.
Sounds good. Yeah, for sure. So recently you've been able to open up your own consulting firm for sales and marketing. Can you explain to us more about that?
Yes. So what happened? It was in last November. I was more looking for marketing job than anything at that point. And I was attending a conference on marketing. And at the end, there's always a question period. So I asked a question to the speaker, and then right after, somebody from the audience just gave me a contract. So this is what happened. So the idea of creating my company was already in my head. I knew I was gonna do that at some point in my life, but it was really not concrete at all. But when I had to do the job, well, I said, okay, well, let's do this. We're here now. So one thing led after another, and then I got a bunch of other contracts, and here I am.
So for people starting out their businesses, what advice can you give to them?
You really need to precise what you want to do. I had a hard time doing that at the beginning. You need to know exactly what you're going to serve, as a service or a product. You need to understand what you are in your market also. Because sometimes, business is just not having an idea and starting a company. You need to do a little bit more research around it to be able to have success. So it's really to have a plan. And if you're you can't be an expert in everything, even in sales or marketing, there's multiple experts that exist, and you need to go get those person to help you.
So for people who want to start having more sales, what do you suggest? Paid or organic?
I think you need a little bit of both. You need to be able to have a good SEO, because otherwise you're going to lose your money for nothing. And if you don't have a good SEO, for me, it's a sign that you need to work on your content again. Because if it's not popular by itself,
yep,
even though you're paying for it,
yep,
you're not going to have a good comeback. Also, I'm not as specialized in web strategy,
okay,
but I understand a little bit how it works. And after that, people need to understand that it's not like $5 a month that is going to make you popular.
Yep.
So you really need to take a real budget and apply it and have a real strategy towards your web marketing, let's say. So we talk about if you're a one-person company, 150 to 200 a month at least if you want to do something real on Facebook. But myself, I didn't even start to pay.
Yep.
And right now, because of a bunch of lives I did on Facebook, and because of people I know, and I'm kind of good at building network, I have a lot of referrals that come naturally. So let's say I have maybe 80 people adding me on Facebook every day right now. So it's a lot of traffic that I'm not even asking for that comes naturally.
So what is strategic marketing?
The best way to explain what is strategic marketing is really to explain to you what a strategist marketing does. So a strategist marketing does what he does, actually, when I get asked the question, to keep it simple, It's somebody that is becoming an expert in your industry for you, marketing-wise. So at the end, well, that means that implicates a lot of research. And at the end of their research, the strategist is able to tell you what's the tendency in your field. Is there law, political, geographical, socio-demographic limits of your field? Who you should target, how and when you should target, like promotion efforts and all. He gets a really good idea of the general aspect of your business, but in your field, in your industry. So where do you position yourself? So when I do a strategic analysis, first it's very long. So sometimes it's a work on 3 months. It ends up by being a few, like 60 hours at least, and it's a report of 50 pages. So at the end, you really get all the information you need to know about your business in your field.
Does the strategist help, basically help the person get to the next step in their business by applying what they just sent them?
Yes, there's a plan of recommendation that comes with it, but sometimes you get, let's say you meet a client, and sometimes their sales are like this for 3 years, and they don't understand why. A strategist will be able to say to the client, well, after my research, this is why. This, and this. Like I did one for daycare once. And we realized that private daycare, why it wasn't working, because in general, they had a bad reputation, like in the population, because the government wasn't pushing that at all. Because the CPA had better resources, much more money, and it was cheaper. So at the end, what do you want to do? You're kind of fighting against the market. So with that analysis, you're really able to understand what's your problem and why it doesn't work, and have some recommendations that are going with it. So for example, that client, sadly, she closed after that because she understood, like, well, what more can I do? So sometimes that happens too.
So can you explain to us how you network online and offline?
I comment a lot.
Okay.
What I mean by that is people notice me because, let's say you have 30 friends in common with me on Facebook. You're going to see I comment 5 or 6 of your friends. So I'm a little bit everywhere. You see my name all the time.
Yep.
And people are even starting to make jokes about it. So I, like, for example, one of my 2 friends, and not co-worker, but they do a little bit what I do. I have Joël Bilodeau, who's a coach in funeral on Facebook, and Louis-Pierre Mercier, who's a sales coach also. They did a Facebook Live together. And then in the middle of it, I just said, hello guys, and they say, oh, if you don't have Laurence L-H and your friends on Facebook, you should add her. You're going to save $150 on free publicity on Facebook, So people are starting to make jokes about it, but you really need to have a personality that stands out, and people start noticing you for that.
So how important is your personal brand on social media?
You mean me or in general?
In general, and yourself.
Well, for me, it's a little bit easy because I have Laurence L-H, which is me, and I have L-H Marketing, which is always me. It's still me, I mean. So at the end, we're kind of the same person, and I don't differentiate.
Yeah.
Well, hard time with that word. One from another, because it's still me. So I think is the key in having a personal branding is really to be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Authenticity works like 100%, and that's what I do. And I see a lot of other people that have success, they do exactly that also. So just be yourself and push it like 100%.
All right, so one final question. Where can people connect with you on social media?
Well, right now I have my page, which is L-H Marketing. I have my Facebook group that eventually is going to get all my content in sales. So it's called Vente Stratégie Marketing by L-H Marketing. And I have my personal profile, which is my biggest audience right now, because like I said, I have a lot of people adding me. Of course, I can't accept everybody. I mean, I'm gonna get my 5,000 before December, that's for sure.
Wow.
So, right now I'm just trying to get a community around business. People do that do what I do, or potential consumer also. Eventually I'm gonna get a website also. I'm on LinkedIn, not so much on Instagram. My Instagram is really more personal than anything, but I'll have one for my business that is gonna explode eventually also.
All right, well, thank you for being on the show. It was a true pleasure of having you, and I'll see you soon.